Tēnā koutou katoa e wakarongo mai nei ki te Iri Mako o Taranaki iwa te kauma wā tā waru te iarere ki uta iwa te kauma waru tā wā te iarere ki tai o tira ki koutou rā e mātakitaki mai nei I tēnei pāpāo mataora hoki nōku ki te waimare kua tai mai taku tuakana mai big sissy ki taku taha I tēnei ata, ko ia tētahi e kōkiri ana I tēnei waka o te tiaki tangata, ki roto I tōna mai I tēnei wā, ana kei Tamaki Makaurau aia e noho ana I tēnei wā, nā reira. Good morning, Iri. How are you doing? Can you just quickly introduce yourself for those people who do not know who you are?
Ata Māori e tātou. Ko iri tōku ingoa koe tētahi o ngā tuakana o te Aorangi. Ana koe te tamaiti tuarima o David Rawa ko Iri. That's about it.
That's about it. Yes, Eddie's the fifth sibling out of us all, and I'm the sixth, the Pōtiki. We're the closest in age, obviously, out of the others, because they're all around about 100 years old. But thank you, Eddie, for joining me this morning. I thought it would be really cool to have a chat with you in regards to the traffic light system and how it feels to be in Auckland at the moment, with the knowledge that soon the borders are going to open for you all. That doesn't mean that Aucklanders can get out only, but it also means that people can come into Auckland. So firstly, let's just touch on the traffic light system. What's your thoughts on the traffic light system at this point in time for you guys up there?
To be honest, I think it's all just semantics really, because red in the traffic light system is currently what we're in. So yeah, they don't really mean, other than, and man, we felt pretty shallow, like being happy about this yesterday. The only announcement that we were happy about was hairdressers. And
yeah,
I mean, when we talked about it here at work in depth, we realised it's probably the one thing that we allow ourselves to have for self-care. You know, that we don't mind, you know, that to us was a realisation, man, are we actual Jaffers or are we just, you know, but actually, you know, our hairdressers know a lot about our lives, and
yeah.
That was the one thing I think that was like, yeah, I mean, and it wasn't a vanity thing either. It was, I'm going to get an hour to myself. So
yes.
Maybe that was vanity, but I don't know. That was, so to be fair, I don't know how much the traffic light system is going to make things easier for us who are working on the front line. It just means people are going to be out and about, moving a lot more freely. And when we get to December the 15th or whatever and the borders open, we're worried about that. To be honest, I'm not looking forward to, I want to see everybody in the flesh. Haven't seen any of my whānau outside of Auckland, or even some of them in Auckland, for 4 months. So we, like, that's cool to know, I could, but still some anxiousness about that, about leaving Auckland, because I don't know how seriously people around the country are taking this. And when you've been working in it all day, every day, and you have particular PPE standards and hygiene practices that you know you have to implement and do every day, I'm anxious that the rest of the country don't understand what could come once these borders open. And hey, don't get me wrong, people have been sneaking into Auckland this whole time. If you're wondering how it got out to the rest of the country, I doubt it was Aucklanders taking it to the regions. I would say your people in the regions have been coming to Auckland, whether that's legitimately or not. We know for a fact that there are people that have been sneaking across those borders, and the result is the regions have COVID.
Yes,
and I mean, when those cases came up in Stratford, someone had been here. Someone has been
And
here
they
in
had,
Auckland, and someone is not telling the truth.
yeah, that's right.
Aroha
And
mai
they had,
whānau, but that's how we think now.
yeah, that's right. And you're right, because it was proven. It was the truth that one of the family members had been to Auckland and come back and obviously was very, very unwell and tested positive for COVID. So it's actually good to have this kōrero, because it actually turns things on its head, because we do see a lot of messaging going out on the social media in regards to, Aucklanders stay home. But I have to say, there's been quite a few messages coming up, people talking about it on their social media as people who live in Auckland too, about, okay, if we are going to leave Auckland, this is what we need to do. Like, really putting in a safety plan around this, like test before you go, make sure you're negative when you get there, test again, don't go cruising around as soon as you get to your destination, stay home or wherever you are for a few days, and like really thoughtful. Whereas I can tell you now, it's not actually necessarily the same feeling on the other side. I would say people in Waikato now, they'll be probably thinking twice too about their travelling habits. But yeah, what do you think about that, Id? Like seeing all this stuff on social media?
We haven't been home for 4 months to any home, and to see people say stay in Auckland, don't come home. Hey, we're the ones dealing with it. So now I'm going to get a little bit mad here. We know how to deal with it. It's you fellas that don't. And we're not planning on coming home anytime soon. Not because of the messages, don't come home, but I'm genuinely worried for my health if I come home. Because there'll be others that will come to Auckland as soon as the borders open and may not understand how easily transmitted this is, the layers of protection a lot of us use so we don't catch it. And, I'm genuinely concerned about what would happen if we came home and somebody did get COVID and it wasn't from us, though. So I am worried about the stigma that comes with living in Auckland, and whether or not that will play into people's into their beliefs about how this. Let me remind everyone, this did not start in South Auckland or West Auckland. It started on the North Shore, right? And so we shut the country down for those cases so that it would stop the spread. And, so everyone going on about Māoris, we do travel, we're the biggest travellers that I know, us makos. That curbed my lifestyle of travelling around the country in the weekend.
Yes, all of ours.
Yeah, but actually you just get used to it. You get used to it, and I'm dying. I'm dying to come home, but I'm not. You know what I mean? And I'm also dying for you to come to Auckland.
I mean, God, it's been it's been 107 days, plus the probably weeks before that we hadn't all seen each other. Now, whānau, for those of you who are listening in, this is an absolute record for any of us in the Mako whānau. Out of the sisters, especially, to have not travelled out of our rohe, even for our big sister. Oh, it's been a big deal for her to stay put for as long as she's managed. Yeah. A few weeks is a big deal for her. This is something that definitely weighs on us. So do we expect to see, obviously we do expect to see many more people getting around Auckland as soon as whatever that day is, that everything sort of goes back to normal. I interviewed Vice Cheryl Luke Maraki this morning, and she talked about, simple practice, 3 things: wear a mask, wash your hands, and stay home if you're unwell. Do we expect that we're going to see that practiced anywhere?
I don't know if so. I don't know what you guys are doing down in Taranaki. Whether that's been adhered to. It might be now since you had those cases in Stratford, but I don't know how much of that is carrying on around the rest of the country either. I know here you very, very rarely have I seen people not wearing masks
Right.
up here.
Yeah.
Or maybe in places like Ponsonby, they got their own
Yeah.
tikanga over there. So, and I hear over on the North Shore where this started, they got some mixed up tikanga over there as well. But well, tikanga is the wrong word. They've got their own rules that they
Ways.
go on about. But yeah. I mean, and will we feel like we still need to wear them when we come around? Yeah, you just get used to it now. You just get used to putting a mask on everywhere you go, washing your hands, and actual not coming into work if you're sick. Yeah.
Yes.
So very wise words from Whaishiro. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it is being pushed down here. Don't go to work if you're sick, because even Mike's home from work today because he's sick, and he's saying to me last night, "Oh well, if I test negative," I said, "If you test negative, that's great, but you still don't go to work because you're sick." Like, just because you don't have the COVID doesn't mean you still go to work because you only got a cold. Like, stay home. Oh well, Eddie, that's awesome to catch up with you. What? Oh, I mean, I'm just thinking. So you guys are in red light at the moment?
Yeah. Do you know what? I actually don't know. I missed the announcement yesterday, and all I heard afterwards was the hairdresser's open on Thursday.
Oh, okay. That's what I want to touch on really quickly in regards to the hairdressers, because you said, oh, maybe we're real jaffers in our thread this morning. And Hinenui pointed out, no, you're humans, because actually we all allow ourselves some sort of self-care, some way of looking after ourselves, whether it's going to the gym every day, whether it's out walking, whether it's yoga or whatever, eating a nice kai. The hairdressers seems like a logical thing. I love that too. Go get your nails did as well. Feel on top of the world.
Yeah, I mean, and we all want to support businesses starting up
Yes.
again. It's nothing to do with that, but I do feel like the seriousness is because people will die from this, and we have seen people die, and people say, "No, it's only 6 people," or whatever. That's 6 people from 6 families.
Yeah.
And it could be any one of our families that lose someone, and then how do you feel about that? So that's anyway. I don't want to end on a doom and gloom thing. It's a beautiful day up here. I have to say the weather's been amazing up here. And other than that, other than the travel and all that and the hairdresser, I am looking forward to my hairdresser's appointment because no amount of straighteners can get through this at the moment. So it's too humid, man. I feel real hot.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty. It's a bit of a cooler day today, but it's been hot down here. Anyway, thank you so much for finding a bit of time in your busy schedule this morning, sister, to have a cordial with me. And all the love to the whānau and everyone up there who's working on the front line, especially my little niecey, Te Aomokura, who's been doing us very proud, along with her dad, Mr. Marlon. And yeah, take care of yourselves, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Hopefully, but you'll be wear a mask.
Yeah. Okay, ka pai, ngā mihi nui, ka kite anō.